pirate's life is a wonderful life, for roving over the sea.
Songs like A Pirate's Life for Me,
Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
and 15 Men on a Dead Man's Chest are as prevalent to pirate lore as eye patches or treasure maps.
15 men on a dead man's chest.
We associate these songs with pirates because of Robert Louis Stevenson's novel, Treasure Island, published more than 100 years after the golden age of piracy. Stevenson himself actually made up the chorus to 15 Men on a Dead Man's Chest. So what did pirate music actually sound like? I'm Joel Cook and this is Rogue History. Sea shanties are a good place to start when it comes to discussing music on board vessels. We're not alone in thinking so, since videos tagged #SeaShanty have gotten over 7 billion plays on TikTok. On the open sea, shanties help facilitate the timing and pace of labor. Not to mention, the songs provided a distraction from the arduous task at hand.
Typically at moments when sailors needed to synchronize their labor to furl or unfurl sails. They needed to work in unison. For the mainsail, you could have a dozen people pulling at one time. So a rhythmic song was actually quite helpful.
The sea shanties we think of today were not documented until the 19th century, when they were mostly sung aboard cargo and whaling vessels. Although it's worth mentioning that the boundaries between pirates and sailors often overlapped and changed, so it's possible that it occurred without record. Blow Boys Blow is a halyard shanty named after the line they would pull to raise the sail. The crew would know to pull each time they heard the word blow.
I long to hear you
Blow, boys, blow.
Aside from some crude sing-outs, we don't have physical evidence of work songs being sung on pirate vessels. A sing-out is not an elaborate shanty like the Wellerman, but more so a simple yo, ho, heave, ho. If we go back a little further, there were early naval traditions in the US, Great Britain, and elsewhere of using drum cadences, sometimes accompanied by fife or fiddle to set the pace for shipboard work. This tradition can be found as far back as the ancient Greek triremes. Since many pirates were ex-Navy sailors, it's possible that they may have also been used aboard some pirate ships. These cadences would have sounded something like this. We also have evidence that pirates sang sea songs in hours of relaxation. They were about romance, adventure, or just variations of popular songs of the era.
Pirate's life sounds just right. Sounds quite nice, I could say that twice. Sounds quite nice, we won't live long.
We think of pirates' lives as constantly exciting, but we have to remember how different the world was back then. They had to entertain themselves sometimes for days or weeks on end.
Sometimes music can be used purely for entertainment to keep crews becoming unruly because of boredom at sea. Pirates actually sometimes kidnap sailors who they knew could play musical instruments to keep them entertained. It was also not uncommon to steal instruments.
Ballads were one way for seafarers to entertain themselves and share their stories. One of the most famous examples from the 19th century, The Flying Cloud, depicts the darker side of a pirate's life.
There's gold and silver to be had if with me you'll remain. We'll hoist the pirate flag aloft and scour the Spanish main.
These were primarily the product of professional songwriters who published popular songs that related to the latest news, written in verse and set to music. There was a famous pirate in the Golden Age, Captain Henry Avery, who has been credited with writing a ballad about himself in 1694.
He led a mutiny off the coast of Spain, and he took his crew on a remarkably successful plunder raid in the Indian Ocean. But before he left Spain, he actually penned his own ballad describing his intentions, and he defended his own actions in mutiny at sea. And the ballad actually made itself up to the highest court in England as evidence of Avery's decision to become a pirate. And the ballad actually got published and became very famous and became actually a very popular song by the middle of the 1690s.
Although Avery claimed to have written the ballad himself, some musicologists say that it's very possible that he hired a professional songwriter. All we have to go off is the lyrics. The ballad has not been preserved in oral tradition, and the tune has been lost. So just like Hollywood films don't tell a complete version of history, make sure to check out our first episode, neither do these sea shanties and songs. They don't truly capture how pirate music sounded. However, in large part thanks to the work of folklorists like Alan Lomax, we can get a rough idea of what they may have sounded like. Lomax recruited actual sailors to sing these songs, such as this recording of Haul on the Bowline, sung by Captain Richard Maitland. These recordings suggest that the songs and the work may have moved at a slower, more measured pace than the brisk, rousing tempo we hear on TikTok today. But where did shanties originate from? In his book, Villains of All Nations, Marcus Rediker describes the well-known similarities of form between African songs and sea shanties. And another book, Black Salt by Ray Costello, notes that it's often hard to tell whether in some shanties we are dealing with a European tune that's been Africanized or an African tune that's been slightly Europeanized. And it's no coincidence that sea shanties bear striking resemblances to songs sung by enslaved people in the Caribbean. The very practice of shantying, which derives from the French word chanter, or to sing, may have its roots in the interaction of sailors and black dock workers. These songs developed at first as songs sung while loading cargo using newly invented machines, like the cotton screw and the pump brake windlass. These songs' rhythms were designed to match the effort required to operate these machines.
Heave away and sing this song. Storm along my storm.
The musical call and response form found in both shanties and African work songs is known as Antiphony. And it makes sense it made its way onto the 19th century merchant ships that also had workers who needed their labor synchronized.
Down, bullies, blow the man down.
To me way, hey, blow the man down.
These crews often had people of many diverse backgrounds who all spoke different languages. The songs not only brought them together, but it taught everyone certain words and phrases they needed to know to function together as a crew.
So it would not be uncommon for a ship to have English, French, Dutch, sometimes Spanish, and sometimes enslaved African peoples on board a ship who needed to communicate with each other and actually work effectively in handling the ship, particularly during storms or difficult weather. And so they would have that technical language that would be understood by people coming from different backgrounds, and it would allow them to actually perform tasks quickly and efficiently.
The influence of shanties and antiphony can still be heard in contemporary music. DJ Kool, The Who, Redbone. To this day, we use music as a communal experience, or to get us through hard times, to work, or to even when we're just bored. So the way pirates use music isn't that different from the way that we do. So if we use music the way pirates did, does that make us pirates? No, probably not. Unless, of course, you use Napster or LimeWire back in the day.